What's going on, YouTube? This is What Would Josh Do, and I ordered a package, and I am excited to share it with you. I will give you a little hint. It has something to do with this. Now, if you watch my video of the other Anker GaNPrime products, you'll know that I have been super excited to finally get this right here. I said this was going to be my next purchase, and here it is today. I'm a little late to the party, but I've watched a few videos of this, but I wanted to give you guys my own video of this, including some testing, some thoughts, and etc. So I will let you pause that and read that for yourself. Series 7, there's some more data on the back of it. And there's the bottom with the model number A1651. Fun fact, I ordered this through Anker's website because Black Friday they had a code pre-Black Friday, but it took freaking forever for it to come. I was a little disappointed I didn't just order it through Amazon. Looks pretty slick. I like it. All right, so it looks like we get a little carrying bag and a little Type-C cable there and some instructions. And here it is. So something that I debated with when buying this was, what if I just carried something like this? A little 30-watt adapter and this in my pocket, right? And then I carried a little Type-C cable and these 3 pieces right here is this guy right here, because I could plug this in, and I can charge this guy. The only problem with this scenario is this little guy is only 30 watts. I could carry this little guy around. It's a 65-watt adapter. This is a 140-watt adapter. Oh, this is the video I was talking about. If you go back to this one right here, I said the next purchase will be this guy right here. As you can tell, I'm an Anker fan. The benefit of this guy is you've got 2 Type-C ports. One of them can do 65 watts. If you're using both, it splits that power. And if you're using all 3, it splits all 3. And I can carry around a little cable like this. It is an Anker 3-in-1. So do you need micro USB? Do you need Lightning to charge AirPods? Or do you need Type-C to charge up your Pixel Buds? You can literally flip between the 3 on the fly with this neat little cable right here using that USB-A port. And then I can have my Type-C cable charging up my Z Fold 4. And then I can charge up my iPhone with the Type-C to Lightning cable there. And then using that USB-A port, I can charge up my Pixel Buds. A little light turned on right there. And then I have all 3 of these things charging off of this one battery bank right here, which is pretty freaking awesome. The only problem is it only does 30 watts using the battery bank function of this, and it's only 10,000 mAh. Something like this PowerCore 3 19K 60 watt. I've got one Type-C port that does 60 watts and 2 USB-A, and then you carry this around and you carry a Type-C cable around. But the benefit of this guy is when you get to where you're going, you flip out the little prongs, you plug it in. I've got this giant one I just did a video on right. It's charging over here. But there you have it. Now I've got this guy drawing 41 watts of power. It can output 65 watts. The question is, can it output 65 watts and also charge the battery in here at a good speed? That's all stuff I want to find out. Because these types of batteries, if you were to plug in the Type-C cable, you can't use the output and the input at the same time. But with this guy, you've got up to 65 watts of power going to your laptop or your multiple devices, and you're also charging the internal battery on here. And then if your power was to go out, it's going to disconnect everything for a second. And then that's charging. And now that's charging. And this is charging again. And it has little lights that go around it here. You can see that we are charging at a very good speed. That says 51 charged. It's still charging. A little charging icon up there. And this is charging it, whatever milliamps or milli, I don't know, whatever MA is. What happens when we unplug the iPhone and we let only the Samsung charge? We got the two little icons there, super fast charging. Nice. You can see that we dropped down to 16 volt or 16 watts, almost 17 watts. We got the two icon there, the super fast charging, and there you go. Now, what if we unplug everything? Let's see how much power it draws. Okay, so it's starting to spike up there. We're looking at about almost 20 watts, which is kind of cool because you don't need any cables or anything. It's charging up the battery in here, and you can also use the output. All right, so we'll connect our laptop here. Remember the number 19.5. Okay, there we have it, guys. 70 watts being drawn from this right now. And that's showing about 75. And the laptop is reporting that it is getting 65 watts. This is connected, yes. Wattage 65, charging, yes. Now if we disconnect this, laptop's now charging once again after a little delay. And the laptop reports 30 watts right there. 30 coming from this guy. And that shows about 35, 33. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Now, what about this? So it charges at about 20 watts. This thing has 2 bars filled right now. 1, 2. What if we took the 65 watt charger, plugged it in here, and now we did an input. I want to know if it'll go any faster than the 20 watts that it's getting from the wall. Nope. Okay. There's pretty much no advantage to using the input through this guy. Unless, of course, you're in a situation where you don't have a wall outlet, but you have a USB port nearby or Type-C port, and you want to go ahead and top this thing off because technically this is a battery bank. I can keep this in my jacket, which in my jacket, I keep a battery bank like this. I keep a charger like this, and then I keep a Type-C to Lightning and a Type-C to Type-C. And then just in case that USB-A port is needed, or I need to charge like micro USB or something, I can use this little cable right here. So to me, it kind of puts it in a spot where, do you carry a 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank on you that can just be plugged into a wall and turned into a full speed laptop charger, 65 freaking watts, and then pulled out of the wall and continue charging your laptop at 30 watts? I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. I don't know what else to say. We'll even try a 140 watt charger here with an Anker cable that says it can do 140 watts. It says 140 watts max. Okay, that's strange. I think that 140 watt cable died. This is a 100 watt cable through Anker as well. And yeah, we're getting just 20 watts. I just wanted to test and see if it'd be faster to charge it using a higher speed power brick, such as like 60 watts, 140 watts or something. But no, you're going to get the same exact speeds if you just use a traditional outlet. That same 140 watt cable is charging this guy, so that's odd. All right, that's about all the testing I've got for you. I'm still torn with carrying something like this, which is 20,000 mAh, which can do 30 watts max, and then carrying around a little 30 watt charger for when I need to charge this, and then carrying around these two cables so that I can charge up the battery bank, and when I'm done charging the battery bank, then charge my phone, which is the drawback. This does not have in and out at the same time. It's either one or the other. While this is putting 65 watts into your laptop, it's also topping off that internal battery. So at the end of the day, I'm not really sure which option is best for you, or even me for that matter. All right, so I have this on grams. This battery bank weighs 313 grams. Now, if you were to carry around this little charger, which this does 65 watts. So let's be more fair and say you're carrying around this guy right here. And since when this is in battery bank mode, it's only doing 30 watts. Let's say this 30-watt charger. And you're also going to need at least one of these cables, but I'm going to carry both of them. You're looking at 494 grams. Let's take these two out of the equation. And let's go back to this guy with the two cables. And you're looking at 332. So that's about 160. That's about 160 or so difference in grams. But with this solution right here, you can't charge the battery bank and charge your laptop that's dead, or charge your phone that's dead. You got to choose between having a dead battery bank and using this to charge your phone, versus this guy is plugged into the wall, charging the battery that's inside it, and you're also getting 65 watts out of these ports. I don't know. I still can't make up my mind on which one I'm going to carry around all the time. I'm kind of leaning towards this, except for the fact that this is 20,000 mAh versus 10,000 mAh. That is double. It's like essentially carrying around two of these. But I also need all this extra stuff, and I can't do as much as this guy can do. I'll leave links to this product right here, these cables, and then I'll have a link to these videos right here. Alright, so it's been a couple days since the filming, and something that I've noticed is the way that this battery bank works. So this was at like 15%. It's at 58% right now. This was full. I charged it. It is now dead. There is nothing left in this battery. The 10,000 in here got this from like 15% to, well, I mean, it died at, so let's say 60%. Let's say 60%. So, okay, we know that when we plug it in, we get about a 20-watt charge, and we can't really change that. It doesn't go any faster if you try to use like a 60-watt input. The input on here is still going to only be 20 watts. The thing that I do not like about this charger is I was hoping that I would see 65 watts go into something, and then it would be charging at 20 watts. Therefore, we would see 80 to 85 watts on this display. But what happens is we see the little light on there is blinking. It is flashing. So it is currently charging. What happens when we plug in the laptop to charge the laptop is not what I expect. So it's going to jump up to 65 watts, which is what this laptop can charge at. We can see that it is currently charging. If we go to the settings here and we go to power, we can see that we're charging at 60 watts. So this little light is no longer blinking. It is no longer flashing. This does not indicate to us that this is currently charging at all. So what's going to happen is it's going to fully charge whatever it is that you have plugged in, and then when that's fully charged, now it's going to start charging this. We unplug the laptop, and then we can see that the little light, it is now blinking, indicating that it's charging, and the wattage is going up. So the usefulness of this that I can see is you have battery banks charging up using the wall outlet. So pretend it's just one of these while it's charging up these batteries. And then when it's done charging up these batteries, then it will charge itself. I'm not a fan of that. In certain ways it can work. Like if you leave this overnight, then both of your batteries are going to be full, or your laptop or your phone or whatever you have plugged in, and then this is going to start charging itself. It is not charging right now. It is not charging itself at all. When these batteries do get a full charge, and that is registered to this guy that it's not outputting anymore, then it will change this to charging up the battery internally. I'm not going to keep it plugged in and recording for hours while this all charges and then it kicks over to charging itself. There we go. Okay, so this guy right here is fully charged. I charged it earlier. Now that it's not putting any power out, it is now charging itself, We can see that by the light flashing. See, this battery bank is done charging. It's only putting a couple watts into the battery, and now it's charging this. But if I plug this in, now that it's charging this battery at 15 watts, it is currently not charging the internal battery on here, and now we have to wait for this battery to become full, then it will go back to charging the battery in here. Buying this, I had hopes that it would charge whatever it is that's plugged in and charge itself. Now that I know I have to wait, I would just be happier carrying around something that has multiple USB ports on it, such as this guy right here, carrying a cable to plug in my battery bank and charge up my battery bank, and then also plugging in my phone to the other slot and using this. I'm starting to not see as much of a point of carrying this around anymore. I think I'd rather just carry around something like this, a couple cables, and a battery bank, which is a little more complicated than that, but now I can charge up my battery bank with one port, charge up my phone with the other port, and then earbuds or something else with that. I don't know. I guess I had higher hopes and expectations than what was delivered. It's absolutely great for a set and forget type of environment where, okay, it's nighttime, you're charging up your phone, now your phone's charged, now it's going to charge that, now that's charged, you unplug this, and you take it with you to work or school or wherever, and now you have a battery bank, and you can also plug it in at work, and you're using the power from the wall, not the battery bank, because now it's charging your phone, and it's going to be a little bit before your phone's full, and it starts charging the battery in here. Hopefully you learned something from this video, and I hope I gave you the information you needed to make a purchase. For me, I think the best choice is a power brick, a battery, and some cables. But if you only have one port, then now you're forced to charge the battery, and you can't charge a phone because this is charging, not your battery. So I do see an advantage in that situation where you can charge up your phone, and then when it's done, it charges your battery in here. It definitely still has its uses, but something like this, where you have multiple ports, charge up your battery bank, and charge up your phone at the same time, versus waiting on the device that you're charging to completely charge, then at just 20 watts, charge this guy up until it's full. There's pros and cons to both. I'm done rambling. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're new to the channel. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.